they don't want you to be reasonable. They want you to be some wacko, crazy, you know, right-wing, neo-Nazi, racist bullshit. I mean, it's all this stuff. And I'm like, you know, I'm generally a pretty middle of the road, you know, pretty laid back, you know, not extreme guy, but I'm just like, this is what I found that works for people. And I think it's important to share that.
I'm glad you brought that up, because it doesn't take long when you're researching the carnivore diet to end up on forums or Reddit. And it seems to me that there's, for people that are very, very passionate about the carnivore diet, it does seem to be a very black and white thing. And there's also kind of a conspiracy theories, anti-vax, anti-science, anti-establishment kind of vibe that appears to go hand in hand with the carnivore diet. Have you noticed that yourself? And if so, why do you think those things exist in that environment?
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I see that. And, you know, I mean, there are people that are carnivore advocates, which I shake my head. I said, this is ridiculous. But, you know, hey, you know, people are going to say what they want to say. And there's people that become sort of hyper polarized. Yes, there is there's a generalized, you're bucking the system type of thing. I mean, you know, the nutritional guidelines say whole grains, fruits and vegetables, minimize, you know, saturated fat, eat, you know, if you're going to eat some meat, eat lean meat, mostly eat a bunch of plants. So you're going against a major sort of system recommendation. And so it's very easy to say, well, if they lied to me about me, what else did they lie about me? And then there's a lot of people that are upset about the whole, you know, pandemic sort of situation, how it was handled. So a certain percentage of those people are like, well, I don't trust the government. I don't trust the CDC. I don't trust the FDA. All these, you know, the IRS, everything's corrupt. You know, I'm obviously talking about U.S. Things not where you're located where, in Australia? Where are you at?
No, in the UK.
I'm sorry. So I mean the UK stuff. But yeah, I mean it's so you've got sort of a crossover comment. The same thing that we got this group of, you know, people in Bitcoin. I don't know if you're familiar with the Bitcoin stuff from the finance side. And a lot of Bitcoin guys are carnivore too. And so I think there's just this generalized whatever, you know, it's like we're just anti the establishment. And I think some of those people do it just because it is the cool thing to do, I guess, or you're being countercultural, I suppose. And then there's people that do it, which I think generally benefit from it. And so I think, you know, it's unfortunate that we politicize diet, because I think this diet can benefit anybody. It doesn't matter your sex, race, religion, sexual belief, orientation. I think it's something that, you know, helps people profoundly. And unfortunately, you know, it's been polarized. I mean, the advantage is, you know, if you got 50% of the people or whatever, 40% of the people that are on the right and they all adopt a carnivore diet, well, that's better than the 1% that were doing it before, right? So, I mean, it's kind of like, I mean, there's pros, again, there's pros and cons to all this stuff.
Is it typically young men as well? I'm just trying to get a sense of what draws people into this worldview. You know, toxic masculinity is something that is discussed a lot as well. There's a lot of young men out there lost, kind of fighting back against the system. Does it tend to be young guys that latch onto you the hardest and the quickest?
I would say the demographic is male dominant, but you know, and I don't know for sure. I mean, but I know, like when I've done surveys, there's been studies. I think it skews maybe 60-40 men to women. I mean, I think that's been a pretty even, but there's plenty of women. There's certainly plenty of women there. I would say that, you know, the age demographic, honestly, it's an older demographic, because most people that are younger, you know, you can eat whatever you want and you feel pretty good. It's not until people start developing illness where they start to, you know, like a lot of the people that follow me are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And it's because they generally were hurting. You know, usually to motivate people to change, there has to be a pain point. And, you know, when you walk around every day and you're miserable, that's a pretty good pain point. So honestly, it's probably skews slightly male and probably slightly older. Now, there are some guys, you know, like I said, in that other demographic, you know, I'm countercultural. I'm a toxic, I'm toxically masculine or whatever, and I'm proud of it. Whatever. I mean, that occurs too, for sure. And steak is considered a masculine food. You know, but you know, gosh, women thrive on that too. It really shouldn't be a masculine food.